One of the things that really makes your chord changes sound smooth, but also your chord progressions sound really connected, is the use of common tones. Now, the idea of this is really simple. It's just having a note or a couple of notes that are present in each of the chords of your chord progression. It's that simple, but it's a really useful thing to know about if you're getting into writing chord progressions, writing songs. The example I'm going to use is Johnny Cash's cover of the song Hurt. So it's going to be the 6 chord A minor to the 4 chord F major, to the 1 chord C major to the 5 chord G major. Now what they do in that is they take this simple chord progression, but they add this G note just droning through the entire progression. So that makes the A minor chord into an A minor 7 chord. And then the F chord, you keep that G note underneath, and it turns it into an F add 9. The C chord already has a G note in it, but they're just playing it in that octave, same exact note, droning through, to a G chord, which is still, you know, it's a G chord, it's not an extension, it's just the note G, just played on top. And that just, it kind of makes the chord progression just connected in a different way. It's so simple, but it sounds so good. Now, obviously this is something you can use anywhere you want. I mean, another example is the Wonderwall chords. Let's not do them in that order, but let's take the Wonderwall progression. Let's start on G, go to a C add 9, to an E minor 7, to a D major, or D sus4 to a D major. And these chords are really commonly used. You probably, in some ways, probably get sick of hearing them, but there's a reason why people use them, because they sound good. And the reason this chord progression sounds so good is you have this D note kind of connecting all of these chords together. This D note there. You got the same D note now into C add 9, so it's adding an extension to a C major chord and that add 9. E minor, this has added an extension. This D note makes it into an E minor 7. D sus4 down to D major. It just sounds so good. One of the ways that I'd say to get started if you're new to this kind of thing is just think about what notes are in each of your chords and just see if there are any common tones within any of the chords anyway, any chords that have the same note coming up in them. And then maybe think about trying to add that note to the chords that don't already contain that note. And you'll find that a lot of times this just sounds really good. I've got an example I want to give you here, right? So I'm going to start with this A minor 7 chord. Now I've left a link to all of the chord charts for all of the chords and all the progressions I've done in this video for free from the link in the description box below, so check that out there. But I've got this A minor 7 chord and I'm wanting to add this D note to it. Technically this makes it into an A minor 11 chord, but I don't really want to get too bogged down with chord names here, but it's an A minor 11 chord. And I like the idea of this note droning through the chord progression. So I wanted to go to a C major chord next, but I decided that if I keep this note on there, instead of doing it as a C add 9, I want to do it as a C sus2. Now I've done a video all about suspended chords that I'll link in the top corner, so check that out if you want to know a bit more about sus chords. But essentially what I've done is I've done this A minor 11 to a C sus2. And that just sounds gorgeous. I love that chord change. And I wanted to go to an E minor chord next. So why not keep that D note underneath it, which turns the E minor chord into an E minor 7. And then obviously go to a D chord. Sounds great, that's got a D note in anyway. People get confused by all the chord names because they sound really technical. But all I'm thinking there is an A minor 7 chord going to a C major chord, going to an E minor chord, going to a D chord. And then I've just thought about having this D note droning through. And it's turned it into a really nice sounding chord progression. Common tones are a really useful thing to know about, and if you're a songwriter, try it, because the way you get better at the craft of songwriting is by using the stuff you've learned and actually writing songs. So please write a song, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.